Good evening, everybody. Hope you can all hear me. We are back with Road to Glory. It is a new year. It is 2023. And same old season, same races though. Round 3 down at Imola now with Rtg's Monday tier. I say it's a very close tier at the moment. Ginge, I believe, is running away with it. He has won both first and second rounds, so he's the man to watch right now, or the man to beat, should we say. Currently his teammate, second, Chuckle Brothers, who has got away with 2 podiums in the first 2 rounds as well. So McLaren absolutely romping the way. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of drivers out there that are going to be looking to beat these guys. As we go into qualifying, you know the drill by now. 18-minute qualifying session. The countdown starts now. And away we go. Who's going to be first to venture out on the track? The circuit of Imola. Very difficult track indeed. Very difficult one to get the aero balance right. You can gain and lose quite a lot down that start-finish straight bit. Anything that you do take off that wing will hurt you massively through the rest of the track, because it is a high downforce circuit for the majority of it. As we have 19 drivers, so nearly a full grid, not far off this evening, which is absolutely brilliant to see. Looks like David Benson is out. We also have Haas of AJ Baker as well. Everybody coming out on their outlets. Got a flurry of cars. Everyone's put their setups on, bolted on their brand new soft tyres, and away they go. Looks like the weather is very nice, very sunny. So it doesn't look like we're going to get any surprises in store for qualifying. But what about the race? Is it going to rain in the race? We don't know. Anyone who is racing, maybe tuning in, do let us know if there is the potential of any rain. Do comment down below. And anyone also tuning in, feel free to comment, join in, give me your opinions, give me your thoughts on all the action as we go. We watch the Haas and the Williams go through that very tight chicane. Very difficult chicane to take. It's very cute angles, very slow speed, but you want to carry the speed coming out of it as much as possible. And you want to take a lot of curb, but that curb will unsettle you. Just ask Charles Leclerc, if you take too much curb, you'll end up in a wall. And onto a lap, AJ Baker goes, opens the DRS, and down that start-finish straight he goes. Remember, DRS incredibly powerful on this circuit. There's only the one DRS zone when it comes to overtaking, but it is very, very powerful in the fast chicane. That's very nicely taken indeed. We'll get rid of the tyre graphic, because I think we all pretty much know what tyres everyone's going to be on. Alright, he's a very aggressive throwing the car in through the second chicane. A bit quicker than the first one. Then slow it down all for the hairpin. But try and keep that minimum speed up as much as you can. Carry the speed up the hill. And then quick flick car left hand side. That's an easy one to get track limits on and invalidate your lap. Knowing where to push, and same down through here. Very easy to run it wide, get the car unsettled on the curb, or just invalidate the lap into this very, very difficult chicane that we mentioned earlier. That's it, take an awful lot of curb on the inside one, not as much on the next perhaps. And this is looking like a very nice, neat, tidy lap to get us going from the Haas driver with his god-awful fish helmet. I don't know who came up with that idea. It must have been drunk, but there we go. And a 1:16.650. That is that's going to be our benchmark. Who have we got next to cross the line? Looks like it's going to be Aki, who goes second, 4/10 down the road. Lee Craig coming in. He's one to watch as well. His pace has been absolutely rapid recently over the Christmas period when we were doing some practice races. So he'll be a good one to keep an eye out for. Prof has gone purple in the middle sector. Let's see Chuckle as he crosses the line. He is second in the championship. Oh, he's just going on to a lap. So let's watch Chuckle on a lap while we go through. Lee Craig has got slotted into second on a 1:16.7, so incredibly close to AJ Baker, but hasn't beaten him. And Chuckle is round, taking too much curb, throwing that car in as aggressively as he can. But unfortunately, the back end of that McLaren couldn't cope. And as we see Prof with a corking first lap, 1:16.557. I'm sure he'll be dead chuffed with that. That's a great effort. We did see him go purple in the middle sector, but immediately he is displaced by the Ferrari of Cameron Poulter, 1:16.298. Throwing the gauntlet down now. That's a great lap. That's you. Sort of opening salvo. You've still got a few cars. Who else is still who's on a potential lap? We've got Chuck on a lap. We've got Apex on a lap. Paul Jones is on a lap, running very close to track limits there, but I think he's got away with it. He certainly has. Car number 69 up to the line he goes, and he's going to slot into pole position, only just though. 2.92 compared to a 0.298. That is very, very close indeed. Can anyone beat these guys? Chuck, he'll be one to watch as well in the Red Bull. Not using quite as much track as Paul there, but nonetheless running over a lot of curb. DRS open, up to the line. He goes even quicker again, 16.212. God, the lap times are tumbling right now. Let's see who else we got. We've got Chicken and Blunts out on a lap in the other Aston Martin. Takes a lot of the inside curb through there, a lot of the inside curb through there, and a lot of the exit curb as a result runs out wide, and that has invalidated his lap. That is a shame from him. Pretty much everyone. Ginger's on the lap. He's set an opening lap of a 16.480. I think he's going for a second push lap here, because he was showing up on the times. No, I think he's well, he's running very low on the ERS, so if he's going for a second push lap, he's going to struggle to make it last. Can it hold on in this last sector? He's certainly flirting with the track limits as much as he can. No, he's going to pull into the pits. Hasn't got enough on him. See Paul coming in the pits. I'm sure he'll be happy with that. Chuck or Craig will be very happy with that as well. He's sitting provisional pole right now. Chicken Blunt's going for another push lap, so let's keep an eye on him. He's just missed the apex through that second chicane there. That's a bit of a shame for him. And again through the hairpin, just missing the chicane a bit, but sure he'll be just happy to get a lap time on the board at this point. We've got a few of you. We'll just have a quick look to the chat while we're watching this lap. Locked on markers, absolutely. This is going to be a good one. We got Basin saying, hopefully I can get a seat in the Thursday League. Good racing between these boys. It certainly is. Absolutely fantastic racing. Majority, if not all of the races in this league, absolutely brilliant to race up wheel to wheel up against. Lee Craig always tough to beat. No, he's terrible. Lee's absolutely terrible, and I don't know whether he's listening. But he knows I'm only winding him up. He has, as I say, been incredibly quick recently. As we see Chicken and Blunts go into the top 10, manages to set a lap. Should be happy with that one. Also got Benson going on a lap as well. Basin has also wished Apex Danny, good luck, who currently is sat in the pits, has not set a lap time either, so he's obviously struggling. Maybe got an invalidation or something. I don't think we actually saw what happened to him. David Benson does get an invalidation, cuts way too much of that inside curb, and that is his lap over. Got both Alfa Romeos coming out on circuit in unison. Who else? Anyone else? We've got Cameron Poulter on a lap by the looks of it, whereas he's coming up to the last two corners now. Very difficult to get the car stopped and turned in to that left-hander, and the second one for that matter. He looks like he's taking a unusual line, like he's going to go onto a flying lap, so he's let's go on to one. Let's see who else. We've got Chuckle. Let's watch one of the Chuckle. We were bad luck charm for him last time he went for a flying lap, but let's see what he can manage this time around. Into the first corner he goes. Throw the car in with a lot of speed, and we're a bad luck charm again, because he does exactly the same thing, just with a little less curb this time. Maybe needs to work on that setup. Maybe take a bit of front wing off. Make the car a little bit more stable. Cameron Poulter a 10th up and going purple in the first sector, so let's go back with him. as we go into this middle sector. Topsy-turvy, up and down, lots of curves. Got to ride those curves and those track limits as much as you can. That was incredibly close to the track limits. And he's got, the Ferrari driver's got away with it. Purple to the middle sector, 3/10 up, so this is looking like a good lap. That is very neat, very tidy through that chicane. And he's got out of it with good momentum. Exactly what you need. Heavy on the brakes into the downhill left-hander. Get the car flicked in for the last corner. On the power as early as you can. Keep the car to the right hand side. Put the DRS on and across the line. 1:16.023. That is a very impressive lap he has gone on. But how about we go back with the other McLaren, Ginge, the championship leader currently. 2 wins from 2 races. He'll be looking to make it a third. I know Imola is not one of his best tracks. He is not a fan of this one, so bit of nerves perhaps for him, but we'll see what he can manage. It's fairly neat and tidy through the first chicane. Flicks it in left, flicks it in right. Just misses the second apex a little bit, but he's okay. He is 2/10 up nearly on his lap. That is the purple, which is beautiful, and I'm sure he'll be loving seeing that on his screen right now. Throw the car in left, flirt with the track limits as much as possible. He's all good there. And downhill. And then back uphill once again. Chuck Brothers does improve on his lap of 15.931. We missed that. That's a fantastic lap. He has improved to put himself back ahead Cameron Poulter. But let's go back with Ginge, who has gone purple in the middle as well. So he's looking to snatch this pole position away. McLaren obviously leading the constructors right now. Ginge in first in the drivers. Chuckle in second. Chuckle not doing so well down in 17th. He's got a lot of work to do in this qualifying session. Ginge does complete the lap, but he doesn't go pole position. 15.980. He's only just behind Chuck and only just ahead of Cameron. So we'll see what whether he can pull out anything else for the final attempt. All on the lap. When he registered where he is. Lee Craig possibly on a lap as well. We'll have to keep an eye out on all of these guys. Let's ride out. Lee's invalidated. Let's see. Ooh, as Paul gets a bit of a snap of the back end. Coming up the uphill section there. That is not what he wanted at all. Perhaps he may back out of this lap. It may have cost him a little bit too much time. He certainly has. Who else have we got on a lap? We got Chicken and Blunts possibly on a lap. He's going very close to the track limits. He got away with it, and up to the line he goes. Can he get in back inside that top 10? He can't at the moment. Who else on a lap? Apex Royal about to come across the line. What's he going to be able to do? Wasn't a very good lap. I think he looks like he's going on to a second lap now. You see possibly Aki on a lap as well. Right, he's had a bit of a slow out lap as well. Chuckle is on an out lap too. So he'll be looking to get an attempt in so he can join these boys at the top. Oh, Aki has gone for a spin by the looks of it. Just skipped over him, and that is in the first chicane. So he's probably done a similar to what Chuckle managed a little bit earlier, as we see Apex Royal just running a little bit deep there, and that does unfortunately invalidate his lap. GFO Samileras? I have no idea how to pronounce your name, and I apologise. I'm just going to call you GFO. I hope you don't mind. Okay, yellow flag from Awasaki waiting for the McLaren of Chuckle as he goes through the first sector. We didn't see what he set in the first sector, but he just needs to get a lap time on the board at this point. He cannot afford to get another invalidation or a spin or anything. He just needs to get up in the top 5 or so at least. However, he has gone purple in the middle sector. That's an awful lot of curve through that chicane. That is very nicely taken through there indeed. So he's not holding back. He's going for broke. He wants his championship. He's not happy with just settling for points here and there. He wants to go for wins and pole positions. And up to the line he goes. What's he going to set on his first valid time? It is pole position, 1:15.800. That is fair play to him when the pressure is on. That's a very difficult lap to pull out the bag, and he's managed it. So watch Aki once again going for another flying lap. In through the first chicane he goes. Carrying good speed coming out of it, and then you got a very fast chicane. You got almost take it flat coming into the left-hander, and oh, he's just lost the back end and gone for another little spin again. I think we've got a commentator's curse going in full force this evening. See Prof on a lap as well in the Aston Martin, currently sitting P5. I'm sure he's happy with that, but he's got a little bit more in him. Can he push a little bit further up the grid and even try and claim a cheeky podium this evening? I'm sure he'll be very happy with that. In through the hairpin he goes. Got Aki getting out the way very well indeed. Just jump ahead. We've got Paul going for another lap. This will be probably his final attempt on it. A lap. He has gone purple in the middle sector. He's half a tenth up, which isn't going to be enough to see him on pole at the moment. But the purple first sector or middle sector, it may have made a mistake or something in the last sector on his previous lap. We didn't see that. He's over the track limits, but he's got away with it. A little wobble on the inside curve, and it might cost him a little bit going up to the line. It doesn't see him in, well, it sees him improve his lap time, but doesn't see him improve his position. That is how close this is. Prof, I think, has improved his lap time. He stays 5th. AJ Baker going for a flying lap as well now. Lee's on a slow one. Apex is on a flying lap. We've got a few drivers in and around at the moment, seeing what they can manage. AJ Baker is just about matching his time. Couldn't improve in the first sector. He's very close to track limits there. Get off any better in up the hill he goes towards the tight chicane. Gain or lose a lot of time in through this chicane. Not taking that much curve on the inside bomb, but he is on the exit curve. Fair play to him. Down the hill we go. Oh no, he's backed. He's backed right out of it. I'm going to jump back with Chuck, who is going on to a flying lap. He's going to want to take that pole position back off his brother. He's not going to be happy that his brother has snatched that off him in the last couple of minutes. He's going to want to take that back. Oh, Chuckle goes even quicker again. 15.682. He's wasted a lot of tyres, but fair play to him. He has cemented that position for now. What has his brother got in the bag? We've got Ginger as well, who's matching his time currently. We can see what Chuck can manage. Very close to track limits and a big wobble on the back end for him. Unfortunately, he's half a tenth up, which is not going to see him get pole position at this moment in time. We're going to go back with Ginge because he's going to cross the line first. See what Ginge can manage. Can he get ahead of Chuck? Even just for now, he certainly can. A 15.83, but the pressure's now back on Chuck. He is going half a tenth up. He needs to steal that second place back. Is he going to be able to do it? Yes, he is. A 15.703, exactly a tenth quicker. That is a great lap, but I'm sure he's disappointed not to get the pole position. Cameron Poulter comes across the line. What's he going to manage? He's going to steal third off our championship leader. Great lap there by Cameron right at the end. I think pretty much that is everyone. It certainly is. AJ's coming into the pits. I don't think Chuckle's going to go for another lap, but there we go. Let's ride on board with the cool down lap for Chuckle. Had 2 spins in 2 laps. Pressure was on, and he absolutely went for it. And that is a great lap time indeed. Incredibly close between him and his brother in the end. 15.682 to a 15.703. Fine margins in that. And he's doing some donuts to celebrate. That's exactly what we love to see. We know he's only doing it for the camera because he's a bit of a show-off. But we don't mind. Gives us some entertainment. Absolutely brilliant qualifying from him. Managed to pull that one back out the bag. And we'll just wait for Chuckle to get wheeled back in, and then we will be going to the loading screens. All the AI cars driving around on track. There we go. And what a great qualifying session that was. The laps came thick and fast. Once again, incredibly close with the times. Fantastic to watch. Nail biting. But there you have it. The 2 Chuckle brothers, 1 and 2. Chuckle brothers and Chuck. And only a margin of 0.022 between them. Cameron Poulter not that far behind either, 0.061, incredibly close. Ginge, our championship leader, looking for his 3rd win out of 3, will start in 4th place. Prof, sure, will be very happy with the 5th place. Lee in 6th, AJ 7th. Paul Jones, I know, will be very disappointed and probably kicking himself in 8th, but he has incredible race pace, and I'm sure he'll be looking to come back through the field. Apex 9th, and Bugatti Sloven rounds out your top 10 in qualifying. And what a great qualifying session that was. But time to focus on the race. Is it going to be a wet race? Is it going to be a dry race? Perhaps some people, like Paul for example, qualified further down. Maybe it was a wet race and he's piled on a bit more of a wet setup to compensate. Who knows? We shall find out very, very shortly as we just wait to load in. But I'm deadly excited to see what it's going to be. It does look like it's going to be dry. A few clouds in the sky, but very bright and sunny indeed. So we're certainly starting. I'm going to go for a little way into this race with sunshine. No rain expected, I wouldn't imagine, looking at that, but never know. As everyone chooses their strategies, their fuel loads. How much fuel do you want to pile in? You can save a lot of lap time early on in the race, but you'll have to sacrifice it later on with a bit of lifting and coasting potentially. But if there's a lot of safety cars, you can manage to save a lot of fuel as well. How brave are you? We shall see. We all prepare to get going. And to the formation that we go. Chuckle Brothers will lead us away from his brother Chuck, and the Ferrari of Cameron in 3rd. Let's have a quick check in then with the tyre situation and see who has what on. And it looks like pretty much everyone has gone on the mediums. As per normal these days, seems to be the best way to go. Prodigy gone on the hards, GFO on the hards, and also Tiedemann right at the back, also on those hard compounded tyres. Looking to go long. Perhaps a late safety car might help if we don't get one early on, but we do get a safety car later on. That could help those on the hards. Everyone trying to warm up their tyres as much as possible. This is going to be a very interesting race to watch. Not normally an easy track to overtake on Imola. Only really the one overtaking zone down the start-finish straight, the DRS zone. However, on the game, the DRS is incredibly powerful. I estimate it's worth about half a second to 0.6 of a second a lap. It is very, very powerful. So using a bit of that DRS to get towed along could be worth a lot of lap time and could be very, very beneficial. Could save a lot of battery and save a lot of fuel. if you manage to hook onto somebody's DRS. And alternatively, if you're ahead, you're going to be wanting to pull away from everyone's DRS, because you do not want somebody using your DRS and gaining free lap time from it. You can see Chuck has dropped back from his brother somewhat as we go to get ready, line up on the grid. There's your predicted pit stop strategies. To be honest, I think it's only going to be mediums to hards or hards to mediums. Only a safety car will probably change that. As they all get ready to line up on their respective grid slots. Chuck will looking to angle his car somewhat. That is a very, very unusual angle there to go from, and he has unfortunately paid the price because he's been disqualified. Chuck is going for an angle as well. Prof, Lee Craig and Paul Jones all disqualified, and Apex Royal Rumble, Prodigy as well, and finally Benson all disqualified from this 4 going. But we see the lights go out, 5 lights, and away we go for the Imola Grand Prix. It has been a good start from Cameron Poulter, actually, who's gone flying in between the two Chuckle brothers up ahead. It's not a great start for Chuckle. He has lost the lead, unfortunately. Lee Craig has gone very wide into the dirt, and there's a spinning Williams. I think that's John Hans, who has gone round further back. That is a shame. Who else is going? Lee Craig is still dropping positions. He's probably got a bit of gravel on his tyres from that earlier escape. There's a Ferrari of Apex Royal also in the gravel as well, and I could not keep up with what happened there because it was absolute chaos. Good racing from everyone. Didn't look like there was anything untoward. It's just a very tight corner to go by, but we've got Apex Royal and Bugatti Sloven side by side into the left hand, and it looks like Apex Royal has got the better of him, but back up to the lead we go. Chuck Brothers all over the back of his brother. Prodigy's managed to get past Aki further back as well. That is a very, very hectic start indeed. And let's see, just check in with the position changes for a minute while we're doing this. Up to position by Cameron. That's a he had a rocket start off the line. Not sure whether he runs any traction control or not. Always helps on this game, getting on the line, especially medium traction control. Very powerful indeed. But if you do get the starts wrong in this game, it does punish you compared to somebody who gets it absolutely nailed. And that certainly helped him jump from third up to the lead. I'm sure Chuckle and Chuck won't be too disappointed. They've only dropped 1 position each, but unfortunately it's brought them back into their championship rival. And Lee Craig is out. Lee Craig is out the session. What has happened? There's also a spinning Danny in the Alpine at exactly the same position, and that has brought out a safety car. Is it a full safety car or VSC? I think it's a VSC. That could potentially make some people want to stop, although I think it's a bit long way to go on hards, as Danny, with overheating rear tyres, manages to spin it round once again. Off he goes. Got to be nice and gentle, getting back going. Just got to be patient with it, and that looks like a retirement on track from Danny. I'm sure the stewards will have a word with him for that one after. You see, it's definitely a VSC. No safety car out. When's it going to get going? We don't get notified, unfortunately, when the safety car is ending. However, the drivers do, so they've just got a bit of time to prepare for it. There is a bit of ERS being used, so I wonder when they're saying it. Yes, it is. DRS is enabled. We are back racing once again. Cameron's had a good jump. Chuck is right up close to his brother. Ginger's dropped back by a second or so. There is a bit of a gap between Apex Royal and Prof. That's where Lee was racing before he unfortunately crashed out. I'm sure he'll be absolutely fuming at himself for that. I didn't catch that, whether there was any contact or whether it was self-inflicted. I'm sure we will either see in the stewards or hear from him later on. But away we go once again. Everyone running pretty much line astern. Ginger's managed to get just back in DRS range of Chuck, and just as we see Aki and Prodigy switching places. Not sure what happened there. Aki managing to get the run on Prodigy. and up to into the top 10 he goes, and Prodigy has run a little bit deep there, and Chicken and Blunts is going to look, can he make a move into the chicane? No, he's going to wisely back out of it. He's got the Mercedes firmly set in his sights, and he's going to chase him down now. And obviously remember, DRS is now enabled, so we will get DRS as Chuckle Brothers sets the fastest lap of the race, and they're getting very close to the back of the Ferrari here. Is Chuckle going to make a move? Cameron is going defensive. Chuckle is going to go to the outside, side by side, into turn one they go, and it looks like the McLaren has got the upper hand on Cameron, who has dropped it on the exit of the first chicane, and he is going tumbling down the order. Absolutely gutting for him, leading up until the fourth lap. And a side-by-side battle with Chuckle. He's just got a bit too eager on the throttle, and down the pack he goes all the way to 12th position. I'm sure everyone pretty much in the top 10 will be chuckling to themselves at that, because that's a free position for them all. But do keep an eye on Cameron. I'm sure he'll be looking to fight back through the field. We've also got Chicken and Blunts right on the back of Prodigy still, looking to make a move. Prodigy gets a little bit loose. Coming out of there, this is not a very easy overtaking opportunity. Prodigy looks like he's a bit all over the place here. He's struggling for grip in that Mercedes, and Chicken and Blunts is going to look to make a move pretty soon. I'm sure with DRS enabled as well, he's gonna want to try and get past. But I am going to jump back with the top two. The two brothers, they are fighting tooth and nail. Ginger's just a second behind. DRS for the Red Bull of Chuck. He's not using battery, whereas his brother is using battery. I don't think it's going to be enough to make a move now. He's just happy holding behind and saving his battery a little bit. That is very clever racing indeed. Chicken and Blunt does manage to get past the Mercedes of Prodigy into the first turn. That is nice racing indeed. Cameron has given up the ghost. Shame to see he quits so early in, as we see a spinning... Who was that? That spun, I didn't catch who it was. It was Prodigy who has spun in the first corner. Alright, let's jump out of the top two. This is getting a very interesting battle. I know they're not going to want to give either of them an inch. They're going to go for it. Cameron Poulter has put in the chat rear wing damage, so that explains why he's retired and given up so early. Just a little tap on the wall, didn't look like much. Absolutely gutted for him, and that is a real shame. Prodigy also has gone round, really struggling, wondering whether Prodigy has rear wing damage as well, because he is struggling to keep hold of keep that car in line. David Benson gets the first 3-second time penalty of the evening. You see Linus Dern, Chuckle holding up a good pace. Prodigy then also gets the 3-second time penalty now. He's going to be our second person with track limits. Ginge is struggling to hold on to this back. He is running lower on battery as well. I know he did say it's not his strongest track, and it looks like he has dropped out of DRS range, so that could leave him vulnerable to AJ Baker, which is not what he wants. I'm sure he'll be happy with a third place. It'll be good points for him, but yeah, AJ Baker looking very strong behind. And also, do not discount Paul Jones Jr. in 5th place. That is running very wide. That must have been a track limits warning. As Prodigy retires in the pits as well, I have a feeling he might have had rear wing damage as well. This basically makes the car impossible to drive. So we see top two now going into the final two corners. Chuck will definitely get DRS. Ginge will definitely not get DRS. He is too far back to get the benefit from it. Is Chuck going to make a move this lap? Is he going to save his battery a little bit further? I think he's going to save it a bit. Well, he set fastest lap of the race. He isn't using his battery, so he is just using that DRS to tow him along. AJ Baker having a little look at the inside of Ginge, but not close enough to make a lunge at the moment. Aki is very close to the back of Bugatti Sloven, though. Is he going to make a move once again? Looks to the inside, but nothing doing there. Not got that much battery, does the AlphaTauri driver, but the AlphaTauri looking to overthrow McLaren in the constructors. Aki looking an awful lot quicker through the corners there, perhaps running a little bit more downforce than the Alpine. Should we go back with our race leader, Chuckle and Chuck? Looks like Chuckle is doing a better job at saving his battery than Chuck is at this moment in time. He just has a little bit more in hand, which I'm sure will be reassuring him. Down into the left hand we go, and that is on to lap 8 of 32 now. Who's going to pit first? This is where the strategy starts coming in. It's a bit early to pit now, ideally. I mean, you could probably make the hards last to the end, but a bit too hard. But now it looks like Chuck is going to make a move. Round the outside he goes of his brother Chuckle, and into the lead the Red Bull goes. I'm sure he'll be very happy with that after fighting and getting, or trying so hard to get pole position and coming so agonisingly close. He is now into the lead with a purple first sector as well. Doesn't have much battery, so he could struggle to pulling away from his brother. I'm sure he's going to give it a go, but we'll have to see what his pace is like. Chuckle only sitting 6/10 back. As we see Aki managed to get past Bugatti Sloven. A very unexpected and unusual place. Once again, seemingly coming out of the hairpin and up the hill, the AlphaTauri seems to be very, very strong there. He's obviously got a good setup or driving that hairpin really well, keeping good momentum coming out of it, because that seems to be, he's making that his overtaking opportunity right now. We're going to jump back with the leaders and see if Chuckle's happy laying back and taking the DRS train for a little bit, or is he going to try and make a move back instantly? He's not using his battery, so I would I'd say he's probably quite happy to sit and use the DRS a little bit. He certainly is. AJ Baker is very close to Ginger. They're going side by side though into turn 1, and AJ Baker is forced to take the gravel, and that could lose him a position to Paul Jones, and it certainly did. And I'd have to watch that one back again. Did Ginge leave him enough room on the outside? I'm sure AJ will be saying no, and Ginge will be saying absolutely, I had the corner, it was my entitlement. But that is racing at the end of the day, and any issues I'm sure the stewards will sort out. But AJ Baker forced to take the gravel, cut the corner, has cost him a position to pull, who now is probably relishing that. He's now got DRS on Ginge. He's going to be wanting to get himself ahead of the McLaren, try and gain some points on him in the championship, and start or get some momentum in his championship campaign. Paul with a mighty 75% battery. He Paul's very much like myself when it comes to this. He just saves his battery, lets everyone else use it, just clings onto that DRS, and then when you get the opportunity, you have all the battery in the world you're ever going to need to make a move. It looks like he's not going to use it this time. He is just having a little look, just letting Ginge know he is there, but he's not going to make the move just yet. Apex Royal and Prof going side by side, and it looks like the Ferrari has just about got the Aston Martin into the chicane. Also Royal Rumble getting past David Benson. Looks like David Benson had a little bit of a moment coming out of the hairpin there. So it's unfortunate. AJ Baker also struggling to keep up with Paul Jones, so whether he just overheated his tyres or got him in gravel a little bit. And who's that has taken a tumble? Was that? I don't know who that was. I can't see who that was. Was it David Benson? I think it was. It's David Benson crashed out the race. I missed what happened there. But off to the right hand side, David Benson, his car was laying there stricken. No VSC, no safety car. I completely missed what happened there, unfortunately. It's a bit of a shame, but on we go. So only 14 drivers left in this race. We've had 5 retirements already. Lee Craig, Danny, Cameron, Prodigy and David Benson all retiring from the race. You see Paul getting very close to the back of Ginge. Is he going to send it? He's got the outside line, and Ginger's going to do the same as he did with AJ, and he's going to run him out of road coming through turn 1. And Rtg and Chicken and Blunt's having a good old battle back here as well. The Aston Martin and the Mercedes trading positions like for like, fighting for that final points paying position. There's a long way to go in this race, and anything can happen. Get back with the leaders once again. Chuckle quite happy setting the DRS of his brother, but not really saving that much battery, so he's obviously having to push fairly hard to keep up here. Actually, Paul a lot quicker than Ginge through that chicane, and I hesitate to say I think Paul's running a bit more downforce than the McLaren. That's why he's perhaps struggling to make a move past, but he is very close this time round, only 3.5 tenths. DRS open, he is going to use that battery. He has a lot more battery than the McLaren does. He's going to move to the inside, force the McLaren to take the outside line, and that is exactly where Paul wants to go. He has that move made well before the corner. Just got to get it stopped in through the first chicane, and it up to third. The AlphaTauri driver goes, and what can he do now to close in the gap on Chuckle and Chat? 2.6 or 2.7 seconds the gap to the leaders. Can Paul start reining that in? Has he got the pace? He's certainly got a bit more battery than the boys up ahead, so we'll have to keep an eye on that gap as we go. Prof clinging on to the back of Apex also. Rtg and Chicken and Blunt still having a good old ding dong for the last points position. Both pretty much run out of battery at this point. Not looking quite so happy. Just keep on board with the fight for the podium. AJ has a little bit of a wobble a bit further back. And Ginger will get DRS this time round. Is he going to attempt to make a move? Paul has an awful lot of battery, and he is going to be forced to use it here. He's certainly going to have to use it. Ginger doesn't have much battery at all left, but he does have DRS, and I think he probably has a little less downforce on that McLaren. But the ERS is so powerful on this game, and a good exit from Paul as well, and he's able to keep it. And it looks like Prof is he's in the pits. Prof is in the pits, first pit stop of the evening, and onto hard compound he goes. That's lap 13 of 32, and the Aston Martin has pulled the trigger. He's going for the undercut. A very long, slow pit lane. Very frustrating, especially when you come out of your pit box, unfortunately. See, Paul is definitely closing in on the top two, and Chuckle looks like he's fallen away from DRS range of his brother Chet. So Red Bull definitely has the pace at the moment. He's getting a bit of a hurry on. Paul is still can't get away from the DRS range of Ginge. Ginge is just a little bit too quick for a couple of corners in that middle sector there, and he's holding on nicely. Chuckle back within DRS range, but did he get DRS? He certainly did, but he is going for the pit. He's going for the undercut as well. And this is it. Once one person pits, it forces the rest of them to pit. I think Chuck's going to come out in a nice bit of traffic, I reckon. The only person that might prevent him in that is, well, it's going to come out. Is he Chicken and Blunts is coming through now, so he's going to be well behind Chicken and Blunts. Is he going to be ahead of anyone else? Apex Royal also in the pit. Aki in the pits in the AlphaTauri looking to jump a few cars. Let's see where Chuckle comes out. It is going to be behind the Williams, but a few seconds behind the Williams, so he's going to be alright for the outlap, but he could potentially get held up in a lap or two's time from the Williams. We'll have to keep an eye on that situation as it develops. See Chuck now pushing as hard as he can. See what he can manage. Is the Red Bull going to react to his brother? Surely he's got to pit now to cover him off. It's an absolute no-brainer. He has to cover him off, otherwise he's going to get risk of getting undercut unless he's really confident of making the move on track once again. No, he is coming in to the pits. Race leader into the pits. Paul Jones is going to come in and cover off any undercut as well. And let's watch the Red Bull crew get to work. In they go, off the medium tyres come, on the hards go. And away car number 2 goes. And where is his brother coming round the final corner now? But it is a slow trawl down this pit lane for Chuck. This is going to be absolutely painful for him. He's going to want to get that limiter off as soon as he can. There is his brother. And I tell you what, it's going to be close with Paul as well, who's just coming out behind, but he's going to have cold tyres. Chuckle is only just behind his brother Chuck, but he's going to have warm tyres for this opening first lap. Chuck is in big trouble here. If he can't make a move, Chuckle knows it's got to be done now, and he's trying to have a nose at the inside, but can't make it stick there, unfortunately. Is he going to send it into the hairpin? He's going to go for it, you know. He's going to go at the inside. Chuck holds on around the outside, but he just hasn't got enough grip, and Chuckle goes back into effective race lead. And that is a great strategy call from Chuckle right there, but he doesn't have much battery. Whereas Chuck has a fair bit more than him. Paul has closed the gap, only 1.6 seconds to these boys, so he's definitely in the fight for this win. With, well, not even half race distance at this point. As we see Ginger go in the pit as well. AJ Baker is staying out. He's going for another lap once again. Any safety cars right now could throw a spanner in the works for any of these boys as well, do remember. But yeah. Chuckle has managed to gain the effective race lead back from his brother. But Chuck is going to look to come back at him immediately. He has a lot more battery. He has DRS. Chuckle goes defensive to the inside. Round the outside, the Rebel is going to go, and he's got the move made into the braking zone of turn 1. And he has regained that lead once again. And I'm sure he's going to be very happy with that. That was very, very key moments to this race. And all this squabbling is only going to help Paul catch up to the back of these guys. Ginge hasn't done too badly for staying out an extra lap, you know. He's showing good pace and clear air because he's only just outside of a second of Paul, which is pretty much where he was, just inside of it. So he's done pretty well for going out long. He didn't let himself get undercut too much. We are going to go back with Aki, who's all over the back of GFO. What did I say about Aki coming out of that hairpin? He's obviously got good strength coming out of there. Wasn't close enough to make the move on this occasion, but he is pushing that Alfa Romeo along. He is giving him the hurry up. But, can't make the move there. That's not a good place to go. AJ Baker is now in the pits as well. As we see Chuckle DRS, but Chuck goes fastest lap of the race so far, an 18.641. That's stamping his authority on this one. I know it helped with the DRS, but he is looking to try and put daylight between him and his brother. He does not want his brother clinging onto his DRS for the rest of this race. But unfortunately, so powerful, it could be good, and that, I think, is why Paul is struggling to keep up here. Because he has actually dropped back a tenth or two in the past lap. So's Ginge dropped back a little bit as well, which is unfortunate. Aki has managed to get past GFO. We unfortunately missed that on the stream, but the AlphaTauri up to 9th position now. And good racing from him. Rtg currently leading this race, but he's yet to make a pit stop. Where will he come back out? It's going to be in the fringes of the top 10 by the time he does make a pit stop, but as I say, any safety car now will play into his hands. So only people not to have made a stop is GFO and Rtg. However, having said that, I think Royal Rumble will still have to pit by the end of the race because he was on 15 lap old medium tyres, and I'm pretty sure they are not going to last the distance. As Chuckle desperately trying to cling on to the back of his brother, both are pushing as hard as they can. You can tell they are actually pulling away from Paul, and both are using all of the battery that they have available to them. This is incredible stuff. Great racing. I know it's not necessarily wheel-to-wheel action every lap, but it's fascinating to watch the to-ing and throwing of the lap times. Who's stronger, who's weaker at what point, saving your battery, saving your tyres, keeping the consistent lap times going in. It's absolutely brilliant to watch, and it's a joy to commentate on these guys racing because it is so close, and I absolutely love it. And I hope you guys are too, anyone tuning in or enjoying the stream. It's been an incredible season so far. It's only round 3. We're only halfway through round 3 as well. I cannot wait for the rest of the season to unfold. Who's going to be champion? At the moment, Ginge won 2 races out of 2. He's utterly dominated. With his teammate Chuckle pretty much on the podium every race. He's gone round, and we do have a yellow flag further back. I think that's for the Alpina Bugatti. It certainly is. Yeah, Rtg is now pit, so these guys do take back over the lead of this race. Chuckle still clinging on to the DRS. Chuck cannot shake him, no matter how hard he tries. DRS just too powerful, and now Paul is falling back gradually from these two. He's pulling away from Ginger. I'm sure he'll be disappointed with 4th, but at the same time, it is points for his championship. And he has a good cushion at the moment. It's a very long season though, and races like this where it's not your strongest track, you just need to be scoring. Just score points. If you can get on the podium, even better. And that is key. We do see Rtg has come out. I did say the fringes of the top 10. It is in 9th place, only a second and a bit ahead of GFO in 10th. But he is on fresh mediums now, so he is going to be very quick to the end of the race. I'm sure Aki may end up in a sitting duck for him, only 1.3 ahead on hard compounder tyres, but we'll have to see. Yeah, Rtg is catching him already. Those mediums much faster around here. However, Prof is another 5 seconds up the road, so that is going to be a tall order for Rtg to try and overcome by the end of this race, but never say never. As I always say, it is a long race, anything can happen. See the Mercedes using a lot more curb than the AlphaTauri, and also has more battery as well. Fresher rubber, DRS wide open. Aki, there's nothing he can do up against that. And Rtg is long gone by the time they even get to the braking zone. And Aki, no point fighting that anyway. You're only onto a losing battle. Just to see Apex clinging on to DRS range of AJ Baker as well. AJ struggling a little bit, was looking very quick, hanging on the back of Ginge and trying to make a move, but ever since he had that little excursion across the gravel, fighting side by side with the McLaren, he dropped back past Paul, and he's never really recovered since. He's running a strong 5th place, but just can't keep pace with the guys in front, unfortunately. Now, speaking with keeping pace with the guys in front, Chuckle is still keeping with his brother Chuck. Both don't have much battery, and they have been at it all race long, these two. I remember growing up with my brothers, we used to do a lot of fighting with each other and competing who was best. These boys just do their fighting and do their talking on track, and they push as hard as they can. They got to get one up on the other, as we see Rtg go fastest lap. No surprise on those mediums. He also had the help in the DRS as well coming onto it. So great lap by him, and he's going to be looking to close in on Prof. And to be honest, he's absolutely halved the deficit. It was 5 seconds a couple of laps ago. It's now 2 seconds. So he is catching at a rapid pace. Those mediums working very well for him. So perhaps it isn't going to be so much of a tall order to catch the I was going to say Mercedes, but he is in a Mercedes. To catch the Aston Martin even. The green Mercedes or whatever it was called. Oh no, it was green Red Bull, wasn't it? Because they looked like they copied Red Bull. It was the pink Mercedes the year before, that was the one. But there we go. I digress and I waffle on a little bit. My apologies. We go back to it. John Hand's very close to the back of Bugatti Sloven as well, only just in DRS range. Chuck and Chuckle still going at it down the start-finish straight. No battery for either of them. And, yeah, both of them just can't put a bit of paper between the two of them. They are absolutely like for like, nothing in between them. And it's great to see. Absolutely great to see. Paul has started to rein in that gap a little bit now. I think better battery management. Yeah, Paul is, you know, keeping his battery usage even. He's pretty much stayed at 50% lap after lap, so he's looking after his battery a lot better, and now it looks like it's paying off quite well. And this is the stage where Paul starts to come into his own, where you start to get the tyre wear and the battery management coming into play. It's all well and good, you can be quick if you're just draining your battery and pushing as hard as you can, but it's getting those consistent laps, lap after lap after lap. It's driving quickly when the tyres are absolutely gone past their best, and it's managing to save that battery as much as you possibly can and use it later on in the race. That is absolutely key. But I tell you what, Chuckle is quite close to the back of Chuck this time, Mad. He has a little bit more battery, but not really much. But I don't think, no, he's not using it. I think he wants to save a little bit of it, which is a wise move. He can see the battery light flashing on the Red Bull in front of him, so he knows exactly how much battery he has. And we didn't keep an eye on Rtg, but he has managed to catch up to Prof and flies past him with DRS. He made short work of that, and fair play to the Mercedes. He's got some incredible pace, and I got a question. It's another 4.6 seconds up to Apex Royal up ahead, but with the pace he's showing, can he get it? Can he catch up with the Ferrari and get a 6th place? That'll be a very, very good result for the Mercedes. He's had a bit of a tipsy-turvy race, but he's been he's started from the back, I believe, as well. If we look at the position changes, yeah, up 12 places, Rtg. I know we've had 5 retirements, but still, that is an incredible achievement. Great strategy by him, starting on those hards, running very, very long. He's going purple in the middle sector once again. They're showing great pace indeed, and you know, by all means, if you're in the chat, do pop in a vote for your driver of the day, who you think deserves it. We still have quite a long way of this race to go. Yeah, it is getting very spicy, very interesting. But right now, I think Rtg, he's pulled off a great strategy, started from the back of the grid, up 12 positions into strong points contender position. Possibly could go up another position again by the time this race is over, and I wouldn't put it past him. I think that's a cracking drive, and fair play to the Mercedes driver. On we go. Chicken and Blunts is being passed by the Alpine of Bugatti, both on hard tyres. But the Alpine driver has made it past the Aston Martin, and I keep forgetting the name of Aston Martin. My mind goes blank and I want to say something else. Probably Force India. But onwards we go. Paul looks like he's made a bit of a mistake, actually. That was me a couple of laps ago beefing him up and saying how good he was, and yeah, I think he's made a little bit of an error, because he has actually he's dropped back a fair chunk from the guys in front very quickly, so he may just made a bit of a mistake somewhere that we did miss, unfortunately. Top two still going at it, and neither is really managing to save any sort of battery. They're both pushing as hard as they can, and I don't really know what to say, because it's just been a race between those two. It just astounds me every time, week in, week out, how close they are. Like I said, you just cannot put a bit of paper between the two of them. It's incredible. Also, John Hans manages to make a move on the Aston Martin of Chicken and Blunts, who's unfortunately dropping back now, out of the points. But what's the penalty position like? What do we like on penalties? Ooh, Chicken and Blunts has 3, John Hans has 5, and Bugatti has 6. So Yeah, Chicken and Blunts, if you can manage to tag along on DRS and stick with these boys, you still could potentially get into the points, but it's going to be hard work to keep up with them. Mastermind just looks like it's dropping back a little bit, but John Hans has got himself another 3-second time penalty, and that could certainly allow Chicken to go up one position anyway. It looks like pretty much everyone has spread out now, but I'm gonna go back with Rtg. As things standing, he certainly seems to be my driver of the day. What a race by him. Chuckle up ahead. Did look like he dropped down to a second just now, but he's managed to gain it back in the hairpin. So I don't know whether he perhaps ran in a bit deep at the hairpin and took a better line coming out of it and gained quite a chunk coming up the hill. Could well have done. But yeah, Rtg has caught Apex Royal an absolute rate of knots. I couldn't believe he caught Prof in the time that he did, but he's now reined in another 5 seconds up the road to Apex Royal, and is all over the back of him. Hasn't got that much battery left, does the Mercedes, but I'm sure he doesn't need it. But more importantly, yeah, I was right, Chuckle is out of DRS range. After 26 laps of racing, Chuck has finally managed to break the DRS range. Can he hold it there? This is crucial for this race. It will absolutely save Chuck's race. He will be very confident if he can get over a second and keep it. We're going to go back for the battle for 6th because the Mercedes has DRS. He's run out completely of battery on the Ferrari. The Ferrari's going to go defensive. The Mercedes goes round the outside. It's side by side into turn 1, but there's just more grip on those medium tyres. And the Mercedes swoops into 6th place and completes a fantastic recovery drive. Chicken and Blunts gets himself a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. I'm sure he's going to be gutted with himself for that one. That was a little bit of a rookie error. Perhaps going for fast as that maybe at this point. Rtg, though, with a great comeback. Absolutely brilliant to see. But yes, we're going to jump back with Chuck and Chuckle because Chuck has managed... Oh, a little bit of a wiggle there from Chuckle, and that's perhaps why. Maybe he's struggling. Maybe he's pushed a little bit too hard on these tyres because he is struggling to keep up the pace that Chuck is setting right now. He's been absolutely relentless. Both of them have been relentless. But it looks like just one little slip from Chuck is going to cost him. Chuckle looks like he's running a lot less wings because he's very quick down that straight. He does gain quite a bit of time on Chuckle down that start-finish straight. We'll keep an eye as they go through the lap what they got, but we are going to go down for the last points position because John Hans has got DRS on Bugatti Sloven. Is he going to be able to make a move? He is quite a long way back though. Yeah, I think he's a little bit too far back on this occasion, I'm afraid. But yeah, as we say, yeah, Chuck just pulling out a 10th or so in the middle sector. It is so close between these two, you just couldn't make it up. Chuckle though, just is he going to get under a second coming into this DRS detection point? I think he's got it, you know. I think he's managed to pull back into that DRS zone. He certainly has. He's got it once again. And Chuck is going to be kicking himself for letting his brother get back into that. And all of a sudden, now the race for the lead is back on again. With only 3 laps to go. It's all to play for. Paul is gradually catching these guys, but he just isn't catching by enough, unfortunately. I don't think, unless these two make any sort of an error, Paul is going to be there, but he is only 2 seconds down the road, so any sort of battling or error by any of them, and that will invite Paul right in. Ginge 4 seconds down the road. He is struggling a little bit. John Hans does manage to make a move this time round on the Alpine of Bugatti, and that is the last points position. However, penalties. He needs to gain 2 seconds over Bugatti Sloven before the end of this race, otherwise he's going to lose that 10th spot anyway. And we're going to leave it on penalties, I think, for the minute. Rtg is rapidly catching AJ Baker, but not as quick as he was catching Apex and Prof, so I think it's going to be a little bit too late. Chuckle has got DRS, but he has dropped back by 4/10 out of it. And Paul Jones is only 1.2 seconds, so I think Chuckle perhaps made a bit of a dive just to get into the DRS zone, and perhaps he's gone wide and made a mistake because it has cost him. He's dropped back nearly half a second there, and it's allowed Paul to nearly get within a second of Chuckle here, and he's got more battery. So all of a sudden this has changed once again. A lap ago, all of a sudden the race victory, the fight for the race victory was on, and now all of a sudden it's changed to a fight for second and third. Would you believe it? And now Paul, yeah, do not discount him out. He's getting that gap under a second, and if he can get DRS this time round, that's going to be key, because that will pull him a lot closer, and he knows it. Just a little bit of battery usage there. He needs to keep within that second coming down into this DRS on his brother, and he has no battery left. Paul just making sure, a little bit of battery usage once again. He needs to make sure he's within it, and he certainly is. He's going to get DRS now, and there's 2 laps remaining. DRS wide open. Is he going to use his battery? No, he's going to play it safe this time round. He's just going to let him catch up a little bit. But next time round is going to be the last time that they get to use DRS. So he's got one more chance available to him. And further down for the last points position, John has a 1.6 second lead over Bugatti. So that is going to be incredibly tight when it comes to it as well. And this is turning into a very exciting finish. Chuckle right now, I'm sure, would happily set in second and take that. I'm sure he'd be gutted he didn't get the win. He did lead for a lot of it. He did get that pole position also, don't forget. But he's now trying to fight for second position on the podium. Paul has sniffed a few extra points to try and gain in the championship, and he really wants to get ahead of Chuckle as well on this one. Paul is incredibly close this time round. It's only half a second the gap. It's all about getting this nice exit off the corner. Chuckle's got a good one. Paul is going to use what's left of his battery. He has a lot more battery than Chuckle, but I think Chuckle has quite low wings. Paul is going to go for it round the outside. They're side by side into turn 1. Who's going to be last at late breakers? Paul's having to go over the curve a little bit. There's a little bit of contact, but nothing untoward. Still side by side, and Paul has the better exit and has taken second position on the final lap of the Grand Prix, and I'm sure Chuckle is going to be absolutely kicking himself. But fantastic wheel-to-wheel racing for these two. That is brilliant to see. Little bit of contact, I think, in the middle of it, but nothing too extreme or damaging. And Paul is going to be, pardon the pun, chuckling his head off right now. And as he's snatched it away, and he is going to gain points over Chuckle in the championship, which is crucial for his championship. And even more crucially, he's going to gain a fairly decent amount of points over Ginge as well, which is exactly what he wants. Chuck is also hauling himself back into this fight as well, and I think we're going to have to ride on board with Chuck, because coming down into the final 2 corners is the Red Bull. Just keep it neat and tidy, don't push too hard. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's backing it off now. He just wants to get across that line. And round 3 at Imola, the race win goes to Chuck. What a fantastic drive by him. Paul Jones was going to take second place, and Chuckle Brothers rounds out the podium. Ginge, the championship leader, comes home 4th. AJ Baker 5th. Rtg is going to decide to do a 360 in the gravel. What a cracking drive by him for 19th on the grid, dead last, up to 6th. That is a fantastic comeback, and my drive of the day, hands down. Apex Royal in 7th. Prof is going to come home in 8th. Aki coming home for some good points for AlphaTauri. John will come home in 10th, but I think he's going to lose it. He certainly is. Bugatti, it manages to hold on to that 10th place. And John just missing out on points, unfortunately. GFO was stuck with it, had a very lonely race. But fair play to him, he's kept going. And he will come across the line in 12th place. And what a race, what a round 3. It's the first one that a McLaren hasn't come on the top 2 places. It's going to be blood to Red Bull. They take the win at Imola here. Paul Jones in the AlphaTauri looking to close in on McLaren, but McLaren are scoring good points in 3rd and 4th, and you can't argue with that. And there we have it. Chuck coming out to celebrate his first win of the season, and I'm sure he's going to be over the moon with that. Fantastic drive and great racing between him and his brother. Always long they were at it. Could not split them with a bit of paper. It was incredibly close. But to the results we go. Tiedemann gets the fastest lap, and for me, definitely driver of the day. 19th to 6th. That is a cracking comeback drive. But Chuck Brothers is your race winner. Paul Jones in 2nd, and Chuckle rounding out the podium. Championship leader Ginge in 4th. But thank you ever so much, everyone, for tuning in. It has been an absolutely fantastic race. Been brilliant to watch, brilliant to commentate on, and I cannot wait to join you all again next week. But until then, goodbye.